good strong arch right there. The next thing is you need good upper leg contact. Okay? You need to be able to grip where the knee bone rounds right here. You need to be able to grip here like that and maintain your balance with the upper leg and with the lower leg also, but not near as much with the lower leg as you would with the upper leg. Okay? So that when you want to get up and hit, your knees are going to come in like your knock knee like this. Okay? And then the lower leg is going to be on the upper part of the calf, but not necessarily so much on the lower part of the calf. Okay? And you need a tremendous amount of grip here like this. Okay? Let me see you try that. That's right. And you notice how right. When you sit down and when you get up right, now get up. That hand ought to roll into the saddle. Like that, right? You feel how that's giving you a vice kind of effect? When you get exactly right. When you get up to hit like that, you want that knee to come in so that when you come around, you have some stability in the seat from which to hit. Okay? The heels want to be driven down as far as possible. Okay? With the ankle having a tendency to want to break out this way. Because when the ankle breaks out this way,
the knee goes in. The
knee goes in exactly like that. And the more you can get that upper leg in like this, the more stability of the seat you're going to have. It's very, very similar. Have you ever done hunter jumper riding?
A little bit.
When you go into a fence, when you come in, you roll forward, and that knee comes in like this, so you get good, strong contact with the upper leg and the calf.
Right.
It's essentially the same thing. It's not that much different. You use it a little differently, but not that much. It's essentially the same thing.
What about the position of the foot in the stirrup?
Okay. The position of the foot in the stirrup is that you ought to have the foot facing as much straight forward when you hit. So when you stand up to hit the ball, you don't want the foot to do this. What happens to the knee when you do that? You see what happens to the knee? It comes off. And now you've loosed this surface area here of the inner leg for contact on the saddle, and your seat isn't going to be quite as secure. Okay? So what you want to try to do ideally is to have that foot facing right straight forward. One of the big things I'd have to say, you're going to have a tendency to want to get to the outside of the foot. Okay? You're going to have a tendency to want to ride with the pressure here instead of the pressure there. See if you can move the foot to the inside of the stirrup so that stirrup will turn up this way, and when you do that, it's going to drive that leg in. Okay?
Okay.
And when you stand up to hit the ball, a lot of people, when you stand up to hit the ball, a lot of people, when they stand up to hit the ball, they want to put the foot this way.
Right.
You don't want to do that. Because if you put the foot up here like this, it's going to push you back. And when your foot's out there like that, it's hard to stand up over the leg. So when you stand up to hit the ball, that foot ought to remain right straight underneath of you, just like that. Exactly.
I feel so weird to have my foot on the inside of the stirrup. Because I've always had it on the outside.
Yeah. But that's where it ought to be. Because if you're on the outside, it's going to have a tendency to make you want to put pressure on the little toe.
Right.
Which is going to have a tendency to bring the knee out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And what you want to try to do is to try to get it to the inside like that. Try to get it. Okay. You feel how that really comes in and makes that tight? And it really gives you a nice strong seat.
Yeah.
And that's where it wants to be. What the feeling you want to get when you do it right, when you swing correctly and you get the follow through and you come through like this, you get the feeling like the head of the mallet, the centrifugal force of the head of the mallet, you get the feeling like the head of the mallet is pulling your arm out this way. Okay? Well, because the good Lord thought to keep it attached, it's not going to go very far that way, all right? It's going to come and up and around.
So it should be you should have a loose feeling about it when you finish your swing. Not a sort of...
No, not a stiff feeling. And see, you shouldn't be able to stop that mallet here, and you're able to. When you make that swing, it ought to come around like that, right? Right.
So you just keep twisting your wrist as you need to.
Yeah. And a lot of it is in the wrist. You need, when you swing, you want to have the ability to keep that plane with just the wrist. There you go.
Yes, I'm probably far too stiff in my wrist, I think.
Yeah, if you're Joe Barry and you can swing as hard as he does, okay? and you bring that mallet through with the velocity that he does, if you try to hold stiff and the centrifugal force of that mallet takes over, see, it's almost going to jerk you out of the saddle.
Right.
You know? So you need to be able to take that, to relax the arm, so that when the mallet comes up this way, you can relax and let it finish, right. See, what happens is when you hit the ball, okay, and if you hit the ball and you can stop that arm right here, if you swung hard from here to here, there, and you put follow through on it, you swing as hard as you can, and if you do that, when you do that, there's no way that you can get that arm stopped by the time you get here.
Right.
Because you just put too much into it. So if you're able to stop that mallet here when you swing, you almost had to have started slowing down just right about the time you're ready to hit the ball. And that, I believe that would be counterproductive.
Right.
I think so. You betcha. Okay?
All right.
Do you understand that theory? Okay. So when you swing, you don't want to swing stiff. You want to be nice and relaxed and let the mallet come around.